probably the smallest monthly TBR that I've done on my channel, but it's also going to be the most realistic, especially since I now have a newborn to take care of. I don't know how much reading I'm actually going to be able to get done in the month of May, but I still wanted to set a reading goal just because I love reading and reading brings me so much peace. So like I said, I have set a reading goal of 6 books. There are 6 books in this little pile that I really want to read in the month of May, and hopefully I get to, but if I don't get to all of these books, that's perfectly fine as well. I have a really good selection of books in this pile that I'm really excited about. So without further ado, let's just jump right in. The first book that I want to read in the month of May is Twisted Games by Anna Huang. This is the second book in the Twisted Games series. I read the first book I think like 2 months ago, and I really enjoyed that book. I didn't really like the main character, the male main character, but I still found it to be an enjoyable read. The drama that was going on in that book was super entertaining, and a lot of you guys have told me that this is actually your favorite book in the series, so I'm really excited to start this one in May. It follows Bridget, who is a princess. How cool is that? It follows Bridget and Reese. Reese is Bridget's bodyguard. Also, I don't know if you guys can hear the bird that's outside my window right now, just ignore it. But Reese is Bridget's bodyguard. It's kind of like a forbidden love because obviously Bridget is a princess and she's actually next up to take over the throne, and she has to marry someone that will benefit her throne and her family. Reese, her bodyguard, doesn't really fit into that picture, and I just love their interactions in the first book, so I'm really excited to find out what happens with their love story in this book. And then the next book that I want to read in the next book that I want to read in May, what is going on with me right now, is Glass Sword by Victoria Aveyard. This is the second book in the Red Queen series. I read the Red Queen and absolutely loved it. I think I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. I only gave it 3 stars instead of 4 because I found that the ending was quite predictable, but I still really enjoyed it, and I thought that the writing was super addicting. This one, I believe, just picks up right where the first one left off. I'm not going to share the synopsis of this one just because I don't want to ruin the first book for you in case you haven't read it. It is a YA fantasy series, but if you're unfamiliar with the Red Queen series, it basically follows a main character named Mare. Books take place in a world where there are 2 types of people. There are people that are red, and then there are the Silver Elite. So the Silver Elites are typically the people who have some special power or ability, and then the Reds are people who have no like magical or supernatural powers whatsoever. Mare technically is a Red until she discovers that she actually has a power of her own, and basically throughout the first book she is being passed off as a Silver to benefit the king and his crown, but in reality she is a Red and absolutely hates the Silvers. It reminds me a little bit of the Shatter Me series in the fact that Mare is trying to learn her newfound power and trying to control it, as well as still trying to fight for her people even though she's being passed around as a Silver. Again, writing was super addicting in the first one, so I have super high hopes for this one. And then the next book that I want to read is The Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walther. I love this cover, you guys. I feel like this cover screams summer, and it gets me so excited for summer reading. This one goes, when Meredith Fox lost her sister, Claire, 18 months ago, she shut everyone out. But this summer, she's determined to join the world again. The annual family vacation to Martha's Vineyard seems like the perfect place to reconnect. Her entire extended family is gathering for a big summer wedding, and although Meredith is dateless after being unexpectedly dumped, she's excited to participate in the traditional Fox family game of Assassin that will take place during the week of wedding festivities. I'm really curious to find out what this game actually entails because it sounds intense. Any game that's called Assassin has to be intense, so I'm really curious to find out what the game is all about. Claire always loved the game, and Meredith is determined to honor her legacy. But when Meredith forms an alliance with a cute groomsman, she finds herself getting distracted. Meredith tries to focus on the game and win it for her sister, but she can't help falling for him. And as the week progresses, she realizes she's not only at risk of losing the game, but also her heart. Anytime I hear the name Meredith, I just think of Grey's Anatomy. Anyone else? Like, I used to love that show, but I know that this book was literally everywhere last year, but for some reason I didn't really feel the need or desire to read it last year. But this year I really want to read it and see what the hype is about. This next book brings a smile to my face because I find that this author's books are so sweet and so adorable. They're just such feel-good stories. The book is The DoOver by Lynn Painter. I read Better Than the Movies earlier this year and absolutely loved it. Again, her books are just such feel-good books. I love her writing, even even though it's technically YA. I think this is YA as well, and like I said, I'm not a huge fan of YA books. Sometimes I find them corny or annoying because of the characters' ages, but Lynn Painter's writing is just, again, so captivating and so cute and adorable that I can't help but fall in love with her books. After living through a dumpster fire of a Valentine's Day, Emily escapes to her grandmother's house for some much needed girl talk and companionship. There, she passes out on the couch, but when she wakes up, she's back home in her own bed. That's not the only shocker though. Somehow it's Valentine's Day again. And the next day, another disaster V-Day. So it kind of reminds me of Groundhog Day. I love a good time loop trope. Another reason why I'm super excited to read this one. It seems that she is stuck in some sort of time loop nightmare that she can't wake up from as she rewatches her boyfriend Josh cheat on her day after day. In addition to his recurring infidelity, she can't get away from the enigmatic Nick, whom she keeps running into, sometimes literally in unfortunate ways. How many days can one girl spend passively watching her life go up in flames? And when something good starts to come out of these terrible days, what happens when the universe stops dueling out do-overs? Look at that cover, so adorable, love it. And if you haven't read Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter, please read it this summer because it's just going to bring a smile to your face. And then of course I have another Taylor Jenkins read that I want to get through in the month of May. In April I read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and I also read Daisy Jones and the Six. Absolutely love those two books, gave them both 5 stars. And so many of you guys told me to read Malibu Rising next, so here I am with Malibu Rising, and I hope to get to this book in May. This one has the same vibe as her other 2 books that I've read. It takes place in the 1960s and it deals with family drama from what I've gathered from the synopsis. Really excited to get all the summer vibes with this one. Malibu, August 1983. It's the day of Nina Riva's annual end of summer party. Everyone wants to be around the famous Rivas. Together, the siblings are a source of fascination, especially as the offspring of the legendary singer Mick Riva. By midnight, the party will be completely out of control. By morning, the Riva mansion will have gone up in flames. I wonder if that's figuratively speaking, or does it actually go up in flames? But before that first spark, in the early hours before dawn, the alcohol will flow, the music will play, and the loves and secrets that shaped this family's generations will all come rising to the surface. Malibu Rising is a story about one unforgettable night in the life of the family, the night they each have to choose what they will keep from the people who made them and what they will leave behind. This sounds like it's going to be such a good book. Cover screams summer as well, so I'm looking forward to starting this, and hopefully it's just as good as Daisy Jones and the Six and The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, because those books will forever have my heart. I can't believe I'm saying that. When last year I said that I was never going to read a book from Taylor Jenkins Reid, and here I am about to read a 3rd book from her. Insane. Last but not least, Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez is the next book that I want to read in May. Lately I've been seeing this book everywhere. I don't know if it recently came out or if it just recently went viral on TikTok. No, it came out last year actually. But again, literally have seen this book go around everywhere. Everyone's been raving about it, which makes me super excited to start it. After a wild bat, gourmet grilled cheese sandwich, and cuddle with a baby goat, Alexis has had her world turned upside down. The cause? Daniel Grant, a ridiculously hot carpenter who's 10 years younger than her and as casual as they come. The complete opposite of sophisticated city girl Alexis, and yet their chemistry is undeniable. While her ultra-wealthy parents want her to carry on the family legacy of world-renowned surgeons, Alexis doesn't need glory or fame. She's fine with being a mere ER doctor, and every minute she spends with Daniel in the tight-knit town where he lives, she's discovering just what's really important. So is this like a small-town romance? Because if it is, I'm kind of here for it. Yet letting their relationship become anything more than a short-term fling would mean turning her back on her family and giving up the opportunity to help thousands of people. Bringing Daniel into her world is impossible, and yet she can't just give up the joy she's found with him either. With so many differences between them, how can Alexis possibly choose between her world and his? Doesn't that sound like it's going to be such a cute little book? Let me know in the comments below if you have read this recently. What were your thoughts? Did you enjoy it? Did it live up to the hype that it's currently getting? I would love to know. These are all the books that I want to read in the month of May. Super short and sweet, and not a huge TBR pile, but a very realistic one, especially as the mother of a newborn. I am breastfeeding, and breastfeeding takes forever, and I've been reading a lot on the Kindle app while I breastfeed, so I feel like I'll be able to get through these books in May, but we shall see during my May reading wrap up. But let me know in the comments below what books you plan on reading for the month of May. I would love to know. And that is pretty much it for today's video. Really hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I would love to have you a part of my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.